So I remember one time someone actually asked me, I forget exactly who it was, but I remember the question vividly. The question was, do you feel like you wasted your degree? And so I have a lot of degrees. And from undergrad, I have a economics degree, a public policy degree. In grad school, I got my MBA in finance and also got my master's of health services administration. And so back when someone actually asked me that question, I was in the period of time where I was a stay-at-home mom to my kids. And so that stay-at-home mom era lasted a little bit of time. It lasted about 7 years. Part of the time that I was about 3 years of that, I was purely just stay at home. I wasn't really doing a lot of extra stuff. I was really just leaning into motherhood for a lot of reasons, because I had been trying to maintain the same pace that I had before kids once I went into motherhood. And after about a year, I kind of felt like I hit a brick wall and I just needed to take some time off. I was just dealing with a lot of unresolved hurt and trauma and pain from verbal abuse from their dad when I was pregnant, and also like not healing from when I dealt with workplace bullying and just a lot of other stuff. So I really just shut down for 3 years and just leaned into being just a mom, stay-at-home mom to my kids. And so about the other 4 years, it was a combination of staying home while working at home, building up my dream for entrepreneurship. And the reason why I say this is because there's a lot of controversy. Number one, I'm highly educated, right? Amazing career in corporate finance, in terms of what I do with, with entrepreneurship, been featured in Essence, Jet, Black Enterprise, so many other places that it was hard for me, right? When I wanted to slow down to become to be a stay-at-home mom to my kids, I felt a lot of guilt for it. I felt a lot of shame. I questioned whether or not that was a good decision for me. And I remember when I was in that period of time, someone asked me if I felt like I was wasting my degree, but I absolutely did not feel like I was wasting my degree. I just felt like it was a step on the journey that the Lord had me on. And so the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because there's a lot of controversy right now. And I wanted to record this video for a while now concerning the Kansas City Chiefs kicker, Harrison Butker. And I love his comments for a number of reasons. One, and just so you know, it was around he was talking at a graduation and he was talking to the ladies and he said, some of you might want to be a homemaker, some of you might want to be moms. But the reason why I appreciated his comments was because I think that there needs to be more discussion on what family looks like. I think that there needs to be more discussion of women and their role as moms and not feeling guilty about it. Because I remember when I was in school, especially in college, I felt like there was so much pressure to have this corporate career. It was, you get this corporate career, it's like just the epitome of joy and, what you're achieving, and that's going to be your best work. And I remember feeling very torn, right? I remember being told actually that your job is to go into corporate, go in and bust up that glass ceiling and make things easier for the other women who are coming after you. Delay marriage, delay children, because your career is what you want, right? And so it was a very pro-career message. And so even when I was growing up, like my mom and my grandma would tell me that when you get married, like when you have kids, all your dreams are just going to be flushed down the toilet and you won't have dreams anymore. And so all your dreams and all your hopes are going to go away. So I'm hearing this, growing up. I'm hearing this in college. I'm hearing that my goal, my job is to make life better for other people coming after me. And so when I became a mom and when I wanted to stay home with my kids, I felt incredibly conflicted. I felt like something was wrong with me. So I wished that I would have had a message. I wished that I would have had someone who could tell me that it's okay to want to stay at home with your kids. I wish that somebody would have told me that, you know what, it's totally normal for when you have kids, that if your priorities begin to shift and you want to lean more to your motherhood role and you don't necessarily want to pursue that career like you did in the past, that nothing is wrong with you. I thought something was wrong with me. I thought that like I was literally betraying my feminist, goal, right? I was so confused. And so I wished that I could have heard a message that motherhood is important, that it's okay to want to stay at home with your kids. It's okay for your priorities to shift, and that nothing is wrong with you. And I have said it publicly a number of times that I felt lied to. And I remember, like I just said, being told that you should choose career over family. I remember, as I just said, that I was told that children meant sacrificing your hopes, your dreams, your career. And when I became pregnant, I carried so much of that fear inside of me that it literally almost led me to reject and terminate my pregnancy. Because not only was I hearing that, right, those internalized voices, right, about the role of motherhood and career, I also was having pressure to have the abortion from the twins' dad. And he was using that same thing, that you won't be able to pursue your dreams. You won't be able to do all this other stuff. Everything that you've ever worked for was going to be over. And I really struggled with that. I carried so much of that weight. I carried so much of my fear and so much of that fear into motherhood while I was pregnant, right? And so one of the things that I had to learn over time was that motherhood isn't incompatible with having hopes and dreams. Actually, for me, motherhood has grown me and inspired me in so many ways that I had never thought imaginable. And I think that this discussion and dialogue is good, because I think that for far too often we've been taught that you have to choose one or the other, right? And I know that there was this big movement to say, you can have it all, right? And I was just thinking about that song, that commercial was like, anything he can do, I can do better. Anything you can do, I can do better than you, right? And it just was so much of a war between proving what we could do as women, proving that we can have the career, right? And I think that it came at a sacrifice. And then there was this time where, where we were taught to like lean in and you can have like pursue your career, and all of that was super important. And then, perfect balance, right? But balance doesn't exist, right? Life is what you create, what you make of it. It's about prioritizing. And I don't think that Butker was talking about women had to be barefoot in the kitchen and, just waiting on their husbands with like a servant or anything like that. But I think that his comments were important to be able to spark dialogue again about the importance of motherhood. Yes, we talk about how working moms, it's like having 2.5 jobs, right? Because motherhood in itself is like a job and a half. And so to be a working mom, it's like working 2.5 jobs. But we need to refocus back on family. And I remember seeing a quote by Jason Kelsey when he was, I'm going to see if I can pull it up really quickly because it was really good. I know he disagreed with a lot of what Butker said, but there was something that he said that I thought was really powerful. He said, actually, this is not it. I can't find it really quickly. But he said something about, if you're a parent, then your first job should be raising your kids. And if that's not your focus, then you fail. And so I really think that we need to rethink what family is. I think we really need to rethink our priorities. I think we really need to rethink the narrative that was told to us, that when you have your kids, you go back to work and you just hang your kids to a babysitter or a daycare to raise them. I think that we really need to think about being hands-on again, right? And I think that that also comes with providing the respect to the position of motherhood that it deserves. I remember before I met stay-at-home moms, I used to think that stay-at-home moms, I used to be like, well, what are you doing, right? But then I realized the importance of stay-at-home moms. There doesn't need to be mommy wars between working moms and stay-at-home moms. I've met and I'm friends with so many stay-at-home moms who had wonderful careers before they had kids, and they made a conscious decision to do something different to be able to raise their kids. And I respect that, right? I respect that, because the role of a mom is not easy. I know single moms who are homeschooling their kids while also creating empowering content for other people. And I respect that. And I love that. I love when people can lean into their children and be there for them and be a part of them, to be able to shape them and mold them. There's nothing wrong with that. There was a few years ago, I saw something online from a prominent feminist, and she said that stay-at-home moms are failing women because they're not doing their part in breaking the glass ceiling. And it reminded me so much of what I was told all these years ago, that led to so much confusion. That my role as a mom was, not as a mom, but as a woman, was to pursue career and make things easier for the women who came behind me in the career. Not a topic of motherhood, not a topic of how you can balance it all and how you can prioritize and how you can make things work by being an amazing mom and having a wonderful career, right? You can do both. But I just think that, like, the hate that this man is receiving is kind of crazy. It's really crazy, because there's way less anger at, Diddy, who is a full predator. Way less anger at his video. And so I just don't understand why we're mad at a man who heaped praises on his wife, and he praises on the role that his wife has in terms of helping to make the household run properly. I think that when we see such a backlash like that, it's really important for us to take a step back and ask, what is family? What do I want family to look like? How can I prioritize family? One of the best pieces of advice that one of my mentors gave me, because I still do, I struggle with like wanting to go 1,000% in career and entrepreneurship. But one thing that has helped me is what one of my mentors said. And she said, everybody can't be a stay-at-home mom. She happens to be a stay-at-home mom. Well, not anymore. She was a stay-at-home mom, but her kids are all graduated from high school and college now. So she's no longer a stay-at-home mom, and she's back in her career. But one of the things that she said to me is even if you can't be a stay-at-home mom, you have to have the mindset of home base. So I want to say that again. Even if you can't be a stay-at-home mom, or even if you don't want to be a stay-at-home mom, you have to have the mindset of home and home base. Because when you do that, your priorities shift. The things that you value, it shifts. And you begin to look to ways of how you can cultivate your home environment, how you can be intentional about raising your kids. And that shifted so much for me, because when I'm out teaching, when I'm working, when I'm, doing workshops and empowering and equipping single moms and teaching women about finances, my mind is like, you know what? I'm loving this, but you know what? How can I still, but I can't wait, to get home to my kids and be present with them. I can't wait to think about the activities and the things that we can do when I get home. And I didn't used to think like that. I used to think, okay, how can I get another speaking engagement? How can I teach another workshop? How can I go do another book signing so I can sell more of my amazing books, right? How can I do all of that? But when I shifted my mindset to home, having a mindset of home base, it shifted my priorities. And I think that might be what we need right now in this time frame. A shifting of our priorities. Because I don't know about you, but I got the message loud and clear about building a career. But I did not get the message about building a home base. And that's one of the things that I'm learning to do now. That's one of the things that I'm leaning in to do now. Very imperfectly. It looks pretty wild at times. It doesn't work sometimes, but my mindset has been shifted, and I've just been so dedicated to creating that home, right? And shifting my priorities and shifting the things that matter and not feeling guilty about it, not feeling like I'm letting the feminists down, not letting feel like I'm letting women down, but focusing on what works for me and my family and serving my kids well and helping to shape them and mold them into who God has created them to be. And I think that is important. That role of mother is so important. That role of being a leader in your household is so important. And I think that is something that some of the prior generations did very well. And I think that is something that we need to get back to. And if I'm speaking to you, if you're feeling like, wow, I'm being pulled into so many different directions, but I want to spend more time with your kids, like, nothing's wrong with you. I wish somebody could have told me that. It would have saved so much heartache. Nothing's wrong with you, right? You're not wasting your degree. You're just reprioritizing what the Bible says is actually a priority. Your first ministry should be your children, right? If you're married, it's God, your spouse, and your children. If you're a single mom, it's God and your children, then everything else, right? And for many of us, we have to work, or we have to, you have to earn income, right? You have to do that. But even within the need to earn income, how can you still have the mindset of home? How can you still have the mindset where you're focused on shaping and molding your children into the vessels that God has created them to be, right? And that takes a mindset shift. And I think it also, the more we value motherhood, the more we value family, right? At some point we'll have policies that follow that with like paid family leave, which make it easier for families to be able to spend that time with their kids after they're born. And so, yeah, that was just some thoughts that I just wanted to share with you based upon what I have been seeing and some of the discussions. And I just thought that it was important just to be able to share that with you. And if you do not already have the book, grab my book, Navigating the Impossible, a Survival Guide for Single Moms from Pregnancy through the First Year of Motherhood. This is just an amazing resource to help you if you've experienced an unplanned pregnancy, and it's to help you with your finances, it'll help you with building your support system, and it'll help you develop a wonderful attitude towards motherhood that can help you to move forward in victory. And I think that that's what it's about, valuing your role as a mom, right? All that other stuff is awesome. And I do believe that in women pursuing their dreams, I think it's important for the children to be able to see that and to see their moms doing things like that. But I think even more important, and then also, even if you're a stay-at-home mom, there's so many things that so many stay-at-home moms do, like that I've met that are just involved in church, mentorship, community. They just do so much. And I think we need to value them and honor them for the sacrifice that they make and the role that they have. But I think that we really need to value motherhood more. And it might take deprogramming some of the thoughts that we had around it. I know for me, being a mom has been a journey in terms of deprogramming some of the beliefs that I had around motherhood and around career. and really rebuilding that with the Bible as a foundation. And it's something that also feels good to me. And so I hope that this has helped you. So make sure you like, subscribe, share this video, grab a copy of the book. It is available on Amazon. All right, have a good one. Bye.